I think my other superpower is getting everyone at the bar to shut the fuck up. What do you think about that? Welcome to me. I've got really bad news for you. If you came here to listen to some sort of like inspirational eat, pray, love narrative about a woman who rides her bicycle across the continent of Africa, you're gonna be sorely disappointed. This is a story about all the things that you can never be prepared for, but you should be, and how I learned that 1 kilometer at a time. I had about 6,000 opportunities to let all of this sink in across 7 countries over 70 days. So let's just start at the beginning. The week before the trip, I was an absolute wreck. I was riddled with anxiety. The airline lost my bicycle. I was sure that my you-know-what was gonna be covered in blisters and that my legs would fail me miserably. On that first day, the very first time I clipped into those pedals, it was absolutely incredible. I was actually doing this. It was type 2 fun at its absolute best. Learning how to dodge cows and children, listening for lorries as they began to run you off the road. But by day 14, I was absolutely exhausted, and it was the first day that I was not able to finish the ride. Just didn't happen. But by day 22, I was actually able to complete a full century, 100 miles. Interestingly enough, it wasn't the headwinds or the torrential rain or the distance that was so difficult that day. People were getting tired, and that was starting to wear on the group. And then there was the crash. In Botswana, I became really good friends with the tarmac. I decided that I would keep trying to ride, blood dripping down my leg, but I was pulled by the med team and was not allowed to ride for days. But at least there were elephants. Riding across Africa was adventure at its best. It was demanding, rewarding, brutal, and tough. It was the experience that you wanted me to have. But alongside the physical adventure, there also was this underlying parallel experience, the emotional side, the personalities that give rise to everything. You can do this, like live this dream type of thing, but then there's all these other things that never make it to Instagram. When you spend 70 days with other people, the worst of the 7 dwarfs are going to emerge. The first few times obnoxious things were said, I let it slide because we were living together under extreme circumstances. But there is this other narrative, this undercurrent of harassment that I wasn't fully prepared for. The name calling, the number of times he referenced the size of his penis, the degrading of my work, the microaggressions, and I was not prepared for that. I had created this narrative about myself that I was the adventure seeker. I was the brave one. I could overcome all of it. But these are the things that you don't prepare for. It's not in the what ifs. Am I fit enough? Am I strong enough? It's not possible to manage these sort of emotions when you're cycling across the continent of Africa. What I began to understand from this trip is that there are pieces of myself that I am totally comfortable with, like peeing on my tent in the middle of the night, being the bloodiest, hairiest, dirtiest person that I've ever been. But what I wasn't ready for was the emotional side of it. You second guess yourself all the time. I'm a crazy feminist. It was me. I should change what I'm doing. I should talk to him. That went really well, by the way. But when you face a bully, it doesn't matter how strong you are or what you say, because you actually can never win. So here's the thing. What we need to be able to deal with these issues is that we need people who are willing to step into situations that are difficult. I was naive enough to believe that we live in a post-Me Too world where men think twice about the shit that falls out of their mouths, and that other men will step up to the plate and be allies. We need to figure out how we can get to a point where we understand what we do with the things that we don't want to know when we know them. We need to be able to build communities of support. We need to be able to have the radical gestures of speaking up and speaking out, even when it makes everyone uncomfortable. So now you know why when everyone asks me how my trip was, I just say it was intense, because the things that I have to say about it is not what you want to hear, and perhaps that's why women never talk about it.